Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Jay-Z Bottom Lip, and today I'm going to explain to you guys on jailing and how to mix off of jailing. But before I start this video, I want to say thank you to everyone who leaves comments, who likes, and give me feedback, and also not just give me feedback, but also give me criticism, and also just been helping me and stuff like that. Like, I really appreciate you guys, especially like telling me what videos you guys want or what you want to talk about or anything in that nature. Like, I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. If again, like you said, like you guys been saying, if you have anything that you want me to go over, I most likely will go over it. I've been going over a lot of things. For the past 3 days, I have been super busy, so I apologize for not being consistent over these past 3 days. I'm finally off after 40 hours and 3 days. You guys have my full attention. So now we're going to be posting a lot more videos, and I will be going over a lot more stuff that you guys are looking forward to. Also, since, Mortal Kombat is in a stale standpoint, and, there's a lot of things going on with the developers and a lot of things going on with just desynchronization and stuff like that, I figured it would be a best time to go over things and help people get better at the game. So when things do go smoothly and running smoothly, you guys are up to speed and you might be able to take me on, or even better players than me as well. All right, let's get into it. So what is jailing? Jailing is a state of like what you can do to your opponent after you get the initial hit. Okay. Also, to keep in mind, I will go over a little later how to jail onto block. Okay. That's going to be like the last thing I talk about, but we're going to talk about everything. So this is basically how to jail on hit for right now. Okay. So when it comes to jailing your opponent, after you get the initial hit, it doesn't matter whatever it is, as long as it's not a down 2. You can get a down 3, down 4, down 1. Not a down 2. Down 2, hard knockdown. Okay? So, with that being said, each button that you get on hit is guaranteed something. Everything is unique, depending on the pushback of the move hit on block. I was going to edit that out, but I'm going to correct myself, and I meant to say hit. So everything is different, or the hurt box is a little different on hit. So sometimes, depending on what move you use, it can have a little more pushback than the other moves, essentially. So when I kick him, you see how he stays stationary after I kick him. Let's say I do down 4. See how down 4 kind of pushes him back away from me? So this changes what am I guaranteed on hit. Now, there is a few characters in this game, like Raiko and Havoc, that when they kick you in your leg with their down 4 or down circle, whatever terminology you prefer, you're not guaranteed a follow-up. And this is due to 2 things. Either your buttons are too slow, or the hit advantage is not enough for you to jail into your move. And then on top of that, again, like I just showed you before, they have a different interaction when they get hit. They move back a little bit rather than staying stationary like down 3. That Raiden is very privileged because of how his combos are. It doesn't matter how you want to do his combos, they're going to do enough damage, right? You can do the low. It's going to do damage, right? We could say he's also privileged because of his block strings, right? We all know how Raiden plays, right? And then he calls Kano or whatever the case may be, right? Then he also has this, which leaves him safe, and it also does additional chip. Okay, so we understand that he has everything, but he also even goes even further. He has good moves on hit. So I wanted to go over a few things, right? I was going to show you what it looks like when a character doesn't have a lot of moves on hit, and then I was going to show you what characters look like on block as well. Okay, so with that being said, when you want to know if something jails or not, right? First of all, before I go any further, when you want to jail, right, you have to be initially quickly with it, and you can do this yourself by going to playback recording. And you can basically, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can do this right here, down one, this, and then you can try to mash after it if it doesn't work. Or what you could do is that you can change back to the first person. Then you can go to dummy. You can put the movement to jump. Then you can go to stance and put it to block all. And what happens is, I'm sorry. You put it to auto. So what happens is they actually fixed this. You can go look it up. They changed it because before it would do something weird where he wouldn't jump after he got hit. But now if he gets hit, he just jumps, right? So now this allows you to understand how to jail. But you don't also have to put it on auto. You can also put it to off as well. So basically what's going to happen is if I don't gel correctly, he's going to be able to jump. So this helps you understand how to gel, or like how to be precise with your gelling. See how he can't jump after I down one, he can't jump. But if I use a move that does not go together, then he'll be able to jump, right? So let's say I did down 4. Down 4 is 15 on hit advantage, right? And the way you can understand if something gels is by looking at the hit advantage, right? And anything that's lower than 15 as far as in your startup will gel. But also keep in mind, like I said before, if it has pushback, you're not going to be guaranteed always to get a follow-up. So like, for an example, let's say that this hit advantage is 15, and then I had a follow-up move that was 14. Depending on the range, I will have to dash up and use that string. And since I had to dash up and use that string, it would be hard for me to gel it. Now, if my opponent jumped after I did a move that was minus 15, I might be able to hit him out the air. But if he wanted to mash or backdash and punish me for try to gel a move that doesn't gel, he can initially punish me, or he can just take his turn back. So keep that in mind, please, please, please. I also will show you an example as well, what it looks like when you don't gel properly. Another way you can also try to figure out how to gel is by doing duck. Now, if you don't gel properly, then he's going to stay in a ducking stance after he gets hit. So essentially what it will look like is this. The reason why he's able to duck here is, remember, like I said, this is 15 on hit. So you're plus 15. Your startup is what? 17. That's higher than 15. And since this move is 17 frames, it does not gel. So he's able to duck after it. So in this game in particular, you can OS duck. You can OS a lot of times. So a lot of times your opponents are looking for the grab. They're looking for you to overextend. Since this is a form of not necessarily overextending, but thinking that you deserve the respect. So you go for something that doesn't necessarily gel just because you believe that your opponent's going to respect you. So this is basically the outcome of someone ducking because this does not gel. So then you get blown up for it. You can stand poke that, by the way. Just to show you guys really quick. I'll do the move. Oh, sorry. Right. Right. You're dead. Right. You're dead. So that's something to keep in mind, please. Also, like I said before, depending on where you are on the map also allows you to understand if certain moves work or not. So remember when I said that this move is 15? Well, remember when I also said that if you dash up, even though like you use a string like this one, for an example, is 14. Startup is 14. Like I remember I told you, if it's 15 and under, you can punish it, right? Or you can jail it. This one's 14, so why not it jail? I told you initially that if it has pushback, it'll be hard to jail because you have to think about dashing forward or just walking forward. Those are frames that you're also using, and you have to contribute that when you want to use a string that is 14 and is right next to 15. Now, I'm going to show you what it looks like. This is really hard to jail. See? But if a move has pushback and your opponent's in the corner, then it interacts a little differently. That means it will jail. For an example, right? If I put him in the corner and I did the exact same scenario, it should jail, correct? Correct. Jails. A funny question that you should really not have to think about, right? But you also have to think about is when should you jail? Now, a lot of times, right, you don't want to necessarily jail if you're baiting something. There's two different reasons, in my opinion, why I wouldn't jail. It's either because I'm looking for my opponent to mash. Like if I'm playing someone who likes to mash, I'm usually going to try to bait it. I'm going to press a button, then let him press the button, and then I'll blow him up for it, right? So I haven't tested this, but let's say for an example, right? I don't know if I can do it on hit. I would just have to initially just do it in my head, right? So let's say I did this, right? Let's see. Let's say I did this, right? And he got hit though, right? I tried to mash there. Also, what you can do is that you can do this, back up slightly, and try to punish them for trying to mash. If they're mashing. So like if they're just a masher, every time you do a poke, they want to poke back, you blow them up for it. And then one of my favorites that I like to do that I do not recommend doing, I like to bait people's wake ups. I'm a very counter type player. So I would give up my turn just to see what my opponent does. So I'll do something like standing right in front of them and see what they do. Walk up to them and see what they do. Most of the time they will armor, or sometimes they even try to down too, just because they think you're gonna grab them. Like a lot of times too, when you do a string and like they be like, oh, that was an easy, he should have hit confirmed to, you know, whatever. Most people, after they mess up their combo for whatever reason, they tend to grab. They'll be like, oh, I messed up my combo, let me grab. And this is where down two crushing blows come from in MK11. This is where people get blown up and they steal their turn and so on and so forth. So another thing that I was going to go over in a different video was overextending. Like that's something that other people were looking for, and that's part of overextending. When you initially you get the hit, or let's say you do a combo, you drop the combo, or you land the combo, and then you go for something totally different, or you just go for something because you messed up, or you want to hurry up and get something out, or you just have it in your head like I want to use this string, and it might not be the proper time to use that string, but you're just thinking about using that string, so you're going to throw it out there and you get blown up for it. That's a form of overextending. I'll do I'll do a video on that, but that's just the short term for it right now. So the next question becomes, why should you jail? And the reason why you should jail is to keep your opponent at bay. It also creates mind games, and it also creates layers. Everything has its layers. We can go on a video on about that as well. But when you look at a move, right, these are considered layers. Square, square triangle, square triangle X. These are considered layers because you don't know which layer of this move that I may use. So we consider this layer because you get hit with layers, not knowing what part of the string I may end with, right? So when I hit you with a down one, I could do down one into that, or I could do this since it jails. And that's if you were mashing. And what's so cool about like cameos is that without cameos, I might have not been able to combo off this. So like, we can use Jax, right? Because that's what everybody uses with Raiden, or they use Kano, obviously, right? But let's say that my opponent was smashing, right? And I did this. I did. Hold on. Right? So I did. Hold on. And then I comboed off of that, right? I'm so trash. Hold on. He's doing that. I mean, that works too, but I want to see what kind of cool combo I can do. I'm pretty sure I can do something cooler. But the point is, right, you don't know which layer I'm going to do. I can do this, or I can do this, stagger this, overhead, this, stagger this, low, stagger this. You get what I'm saying? So it creates a different mind game. I can also do down poke, overhead. I can do down poke, 4-4, 4-4. You get what I'm saying? 4-4. I can stagger that. Stand one. Overhead again. Or I can do down one with it. Overhead again. Down one. Overhead again. You get what I'm saying? There's layers to whatever that I want to condition my opponent with. And you can do all this off of an initial hit. Now, you don't want to overextend, and what I was just showing you was just something that you can do every time that you get a hit. This is not the type of play style that you would want to go for. When you're playing against your opponent, you want to understand what is it that he struggles with, his pros and cons about his play style, and the certain things that he struggles with. These are things that you have to pay attention to and adapt with in first round and second round. And if you're playing a set, you have plenty of time to. This is why good players become very hard to beat, is because their adaptation is very strong. And then on top of that, everything has a counter, right? So if my opponent struggles with teching a grab, so he OS ducks a lot, he can get hit by mids. He can get hit by 50-50s. If my opponent is really good at executing combos, then I can't be easily opened up, especially if I'm fighting Kenshi. I can't allow myself to get easily opened up. So then what do you think? Just take the grab. If you feel like your opponent is going to grab you, I'd rather learn how to take the throw, or just take the throw. Because the last thing you want to do, or the least thing that you want to deal with, is him hitting you, freezing you, and pulling Sentos out. Now you get hit with a 50% combo, and now you got to guess and get chipped out from Sentos. So these are things you have to think about in a larger scheme of things when you're fighting certain characters. All right. And you're probably wondering why I use Kenshi for the secondary, right? And the reason why I wanted to use Kenshi for the secondary, because I didn't want to give you guys too much information. This is for you guys to go figure out for yourselves and have fun with the game. I feel like you have least amount of fun when people give you tech and you don't go in the lab and you figure it out. Like, I'm giving you guys like the blueprint, and you can go figure out things I didn't even know about. So basically, right, now I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time, but if you use Kenshi, right? Let's use Kenshi, and let's put my opponent in the corner. This move right here jails. See, let's put him on reverse, right? And then let's use electric fly. Okay, and then let's go to the corner. Position him right. Okay. See how he was able to armor there? That's because that gelled on block. Now there's certain things in the game that allow you to do that. And the best way to figure out if something gels is by setting your opponent to armor. So what you would go to really quick, because I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time, go down to classic dummy, click on it, then go all the way down to reversal. He's going to be able to reverse anything you do. That's basically what a reversal is. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, actually. It has to be on block, right? So they're reversing, taking their turn with whatever essentially they're using, right? So you would set it to on, and then you would use their armor move. Not any type of armor move, the one that has armor on it. So basically use that one. And then you would figure out what has a gap or not, right? So like this string. See how he didn't armor through that? But I think you can armor through this. I thought you could. So like if I did Sentos, right? Let's say I use Sentos, right? Let's see. Okay, never mind. But there is a few things in this game that you can armor through, like right there, he armored through. That doesn't have a gap, you see? See? No gap. Now if I use this string, that has a gap. That has a gap. Don't have a gap. This is where you would be like, why would I ever use that string? It's because it jails. You kind of want to use certain strings that jail. so your opponent doesn't think they can armor through it, because a lot of times people will let go in order to armor. So like when you put the inputs in, you're let go of R2 because you have to press it again. It'll be kind of OD if you can hold R2 and put the inputs in. See how I'm trying to do it right now, but you have to essentially let go for a second and then do it. So that's what creates the mind game of thinking that you can armor, and this is why people get hit. Please keep in mind that's how it works. And you have to learn that that's how you bait people if they armor a lot and they keep going through your gaps. Use strings that don't have gaps. But what's really good is using strings that most people don't use. This string right here, you'll never, ever, ever see a Kenshi use it. It's a good string though. So just keep that in mind. Again, like I said, if you want to figure out if something has a gap, just always go to that. We can try that really quick with Raiden and see what we can get, right? So let's go down to that. Kenshi's armor move is the shoulder push. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. Okay, here it is. It's port. Okay. I think this is the wrong push though. Yeah, it's that push. That used to be his armor in the beta, but he has another one. This is Rising Karma, Soul Charge. I want to say it's this one. Let me see. Yes, this is armor move, right? So let's say I did a move, right? So let's do, I think this one has a gap. What the hell is this screen? See? That has a gap. Let's try this one. Has a gap at the third hit. Right? What about this one? Has a gap. What else do you have? This one has a gap. What about this one? No gap. You see what I'm saying? So then once you realize that there's no gap here, you get what I'm saying? Now you can come up with your own little scheme of things. And then a lot of times when people see this, they think that they get armor here because you're about to go for something crazy. So you can just take the damage and then punish them. You get what I'm saying? So you can do all types of stuff. I don't want to go in too much, or I don't want to talk too much, guys, but that's basically how you jail and how to create mix off of like essential hits. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. I'll definitely do another video throughout the whole entire week. Appreciate you guys watching again. It's your boy Jay-Z by Living. I'm out.